welcome to episode 2 of the Space-Time Sessions. So, as we go on, we're going to work through video and audio things, being it's the first time we're both doing this. Actually, not my first time, your first time. I mean, not your first time, my first time.
Yeah.
So, he's actually the one that's guiding me through most of this stuff because he's done it. And then I'm just learning via YouTube and however else I can. So a little patience with us while we work out the kinks and get everything set up to run just the way we want it. So today I thought we would start with MMA.
Okay.
And this, I still say tweet. I don't know what the correct terminology is anymore. So it's from John, and as we go on here, you'll see my dislike of Jones is pretty well known to anyone who knows me.
Well, both of ours.
Yeah. And so he and I'm glad you said that because I don't want this to come off as that whatever I say my son agrees with, and that's no. We have similar viewpoints on certain things, and we certainly disagree on certain things also.
But when it comes to John Jones, we have the same views.
We see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is another one of those situations where the guy's uber talented, right? Like, you can't deny the guy's talented, but has he done questionable things? It's not even remotely close to no.
Most certainly, yeah.
Yeah. So, for any casuals joining on here, John Jones has a pedigree. The guy does. He's beat a murderer's row of people. But to put it short, the guy has tested positive for substances more than a handful of times. Handful is exaggerating, but still. Like I said in our first episode, one time everyone gets a pass. Everyone. I don't care who you are. You get popped one time. I get it. You get a pass. 2 times. No, I don't know. That's a choice, man. 3 times. I have to assume you've been doing this your entire career. And that's the assumption I have when it comes to John Jones.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the same exact thing. But then you also have people saying, oh, well, if you're going to assume that he's been on steroids his whole career, how come he hasn't gotten caught?
So the argument to that, and then this is also a thing for me, you cannot ever convince me that the Dagestanis aren't taking stuff, right? Those guys are juiced to the gills. I know they are. But to your point, they haven't gotten caught because they're better than the testers.
Okay.
And I remind you guys of a certain bicyclist who won 1,000 races, and then it came out he was the dirtiest ever.
Yeah.
What did he say? I was just better at the tests. So the guy never pissed dirty, but he was as dirty as it gets.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we know these Russians are super ahead of these tests and everything. And so whatever they're getting has to be something they're not testing for specifically.
Yeah.
So it's an accusation. It's alleged.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get myself in trouble here. But yeah, I do allege that. I 100% believe those guys are on something. All of them.
But going back to John Jones, what is this tweet that you were talking about?
Oh, so Ben's going to put it up here, but I'm going to read it off real quick so that you guys can see, or hear, actually. So some guy put out a tweet, and because it seems like John is going to step away for a while, like he's really earned it and needs the break.
Yeah,
because
right.
He's done, so much. He's put in so much work into the heavyweight division. He beat a trash canning Gon, and then an old retired firefighter.
Yeah.
So the guy says legacy completely ruined. LM laughed my ass off. And then, so this is the other thing that amazes me about John. I don't have social media, but you can apparently engage this guy.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
For the most part, it depends on what you say, and I have seen, like, in some cases where he does answer to fans or to people who make comments about him.
Yeah, so that's what appears to be the case here, right? So the guy says, Jones responds, youngest champion in UFC history, most dominant, longest reigning, made millions, left the sport on his own terms. So right there, left the sport on his own terms.
So he's basically saying he's done?
It sounds like he's saying he's done. Flip that fight money into real business success, became a great father, inspired people all over the world. Yeah, what a terrible legacy. Bro.
Great father.
Let's go through that real quickly. I don't want to spend the entire show on this, but real quickly, right? Most dominant, longest reigning. All right, I'll kind of give you that. Made millions, I'll give you that. Left the sport on his own terms.
I mean, a certain someone made you leave.
Yeah. But I'll say, you're a coward, bro. You're a coward. You are ducking Tom Aspinall because you know he's going to ragdoll you. And that's all there is to it.
And for a lot of people who don't know, Tom Aspinall is currently the interim champion of the UFC heavyweights, right? So when you have a champion and you have an interim champion, the whole point is for those two to fight to unify the belts, to have one champion, an undisputed champion.
Like this nonsense that's been going on in the UFC with that Dana, and the guy's a clown. I can't stand him, and we will definitely get into him and stuff on future shows.
Yeah.
But this is stuff that he allows, right? So this is because of him. He's so vested in making sure that Jones is the GOAT, that he'll
do anything to protect him.
He'll do anything to protect this guy and his legacy, right? So
he has a couple fighters like that he does it for.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He absolutely does. Another one is O'Malley.
Yeah.
He is hell-bent on making O'Malley a star.
He wants him to be champs.
He does.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah. Was it you that showed me? Yeah, I think it was you that showed me the Mighty Mouse clip where he was saying that only in MMA would you get a championship fight
off of a loss. Yeah, right.
Dude, that doesn't happen in boxing. But Dana allows it because it's Dana.
And with John Jones, it's just he must have some dirt on Dana that he won't punish him the way he's punishing these other fighters.
Yeah, and I laugh because it's the same thing we used to say about Dan Moore and Mike Tomlin. The guy, except for last season, of course.
Yeah.
And he didn't play spectacular, but he played well enough that he wasn't a liability over there. But the guy was a human turnstile for a long time, and you and I were like, what dirt does this dude have on Mike Tomlin?
That he's still in the starting role.
Starting.
And everything. It's the same thing with John Jones. Like, he must have some dirt on Dana that Dana just... He doesn't do anything about anything that John is talking about.
Well, I think also too is the depth of the heavyweight division isn't the greatest.
Yeah, there's not a lot of real contenders. There's maybe one or two there.
Yeah, and then when Ngannou left and thoroughly embarrassed Dana, he was not happy about that, right?
I know.
So yeah, he became a great father. So beating your fiance in front of your kids
3 times,
and splitting her lip
3 times
so that she runs to security crying. That's a great father.
Something your kids can look up to. Hitting a pregnant woman in a hit and run and fleeing the scene
with drugs in the car. I think there was a gun too, right? Was there a gun involved in that one?
I think there.
I know there was cocaine.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a gun, but I don't know. Maybe I could look past all of that. Maybe I could, but I'm one of those people who, and you are too, who can't separate the fighter from the person, and I know a lot of people can't do that, but we most certainly can. And I can maybe look past all of it if he didn't piss dirty. Maybe, but probably not.
Yeah, and it's so still, in the combat sports arena, another one is Gervonta Davis, the boxer. I got turned on to this guy because of a viral video.
I only knew him because of you.
I got turned on to the guy because of a viral video of the guy literally choking his wife in an auditorium full of people. Like, the guy is off the rails.
Yeah.
He's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who does that. And then, of course, she put him up on charges and everything. And then what happens?
It mysteriously got dropped.
Yeah. Oh, baby, I love you. I didn't mean that. You know how I am. I just lost my temper. That I love you so much, and it just makes me crazy sometimes.
Yeah. All right. But, what else does that tweet say? Is at the end
so it says, a great father? Inspired people all over the world. Inspired them to what? To be arch criminals?
Well, again, that goes back to the being able to separate a fighter from the person, because as a fighter, I'm sure he's inspired a lot of people. So, I guess.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. So, I'm sure there's people who were like, oh, you know what, I got into... There's kids, I'm sure, on MMA gyms all over the country and maybe the world who got into the sport because of him.
Yeah.
I get it. And then
You used to like John Jones, too.
I was a huge John Jones fan until he started being a complete dick. Mm-hmm. In and out of the ring. Like, who hides under rings to avoid...
When USADA came to test him?
That's comedy. That's movie comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, knock, knock, who's there? Oh, no. Runs up, like... that. You can't even make that up, but it's 100% true. And then on top of that, the guy had his daddy move an entire pay-per-view to another arena.
Was that his fight with DC, the second one, that he got moved, or who was that he fought?
I think it was the DC fight, but I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one.
Okay.
And then I felt so bad for DC when he lost that fight.
Which one?
The second one.
Oh, when he got head kicked, right?
He got head kicked, and then he's sitting up against the fence, and
crying.
He's crying, yeah. And then it comes out.
DC is starting to get it on our bad side, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. So Jones is the asterisk guy. He's gonna be one of those guys for me.
Yeah.
That when he goes into the record books, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer based on his resume and everything. Yeah, I get it. He's not undefeated. He lost to Dominic Reyes. Watch the fight, folks. He lost that fight.
Yeah. And I love what Tom Aspinall said. I believe he went on the Piers Morgan show, and he asked him, is John Jones the greatest to you? And Tom said, he could be potentially, but he has failed a couple drug tests, and to me, that rules you out. And I think that was so perfectly said by Tom, because if you're on steroids and the person you're fighting is not, that's absolutely cheating.
Yeah.
Or how they call it, performance-enhancing drugs. So not steroids, but it's still a steroid.
Yeah, come on. Let's get over the word usage to make it, more acceptable.
Right.
Performance enhancing, bro. They're steroids.
Yeah.
So, when I saw him on the show and he was saying that, in my head I'm saying, well, how long is it going to be before Dana sees this and does something stupid like strips him or something?
He'll never strip him.
I think only because it'll be a bad look. Oh no, I'm talking about Tom.
Oh, well,
when he said that about John.
He'll make Tom the number one contender instead of the interim, is what you're saying?
No. When Tom was on the Piers Morgan show and made that comment.
Oh, okay.
And I saw it.
You thought there was going to be some type of punishment?
In my head, I was like, okay. Wow, there's going to be some collateral damage here.
But there wasn't, yeah.
There wasn't, yeah. Much, but again, I think it was more because Dana would have looked bad.
If he did do something.
Something. Now, if this turns out to be true, right,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen? By rights, Dana should strip him.
Or, well, yeah, that 100% makes sense. And then, Tom gets promoted. He's the undisputed champ.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what I think should happen. That's what you think should happen. But can I see that sneaky tomato head doing, giving someone else a fight to make the undisputed? The minute this dude steps away,
like, who could you do what? Jones versus Gane 2? Because that's something he would do. I could see him doing that fight again.
Well, Jones towards the end of his career became Floyd Mayweather, right? Only if Jones took a fight, you knew he took the fight because he could win.
Yeah.
Or he felt that he was going to win, just like this clown. When's he fighting? July. The Logan brother.
Jake. He is fighting the same night as International Fight Week. Yeah. So, like, I want to watch both, but,
Yeah,
I'm obviously going to watch International Fight Week card.
I'll tell you this. The guy has an extraordinary talent to get me to watch shit cards. Because
who
Logan.
Oh, okay. Jake.
Jagan.
Yeah.
Jake. Because he keeps dragging out these guys.
Retired boxers or retired UFC fighters.
Who stand basically no chance in hell because, number one, he's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's young and has just enough talent to beat these guys.
Yeah.
And then he loves saying things like, "Oh, well, you see, you guys say that I don't fight boxers, but okay, fight boxers that aren't 100 years old."
I love that clip of him where he's like, a lot of people say for me to fight a boxer, and then when I ask for Canelo, they call me crazy. I think that clip is so funny.
I would love to see him fight Canelo just to watch him get his ass handed to him. Canelo will put that guy away inside of a round. Even though he's a bigger guy,
yeah.
Right? He just doesn't have the footwork or the speed.
The technique, basically.
Or the technique.
Yeah.
To even be in the same ring with him. So he's out of his mind to be making,
Going back on this whole John Jones thing, I mean, it's pretty clear he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I think everybody, besides the Jones meat riders, have come to terms with it that he's ducking Tom. But in a crazy world, in a crazy dimension, this fight were to take place, how do you see it, like, playing out? Like, to you? Like, they meet in the cage, how does the fight go to you? Like,
I don't think, as much as Aspinall would like to ragdoll him, I don't think he does that. I think he comes out and fights smart. Because at the end of the day...
He gives him respect?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. At the end of the day, John is John.
Mm-hmm.
The guy looks like a praying mantis. He's long like that. So you have to respect he's going to fight with distance. And again, that nonsense that he does with this, that they let him get away with all the time.
Oblique kicks, too. Oblique kicks.
And the oblique kicks, which he loves.
Should be outlawed.
I don't understand. You don't, you outlaw the 12 to 6 elbows, but you're okay with the oblique kicks that can destroy people's knees, which have destroyed people's knees.
Rampage.
Exactly. Rampage is one of them. Maret is another one. Who else? There's guy. It should 100% not be legal.
So, what's your final prediction? What Tom second round TKO, KO, finish, a submission?
I think Tom is better standing up.
Mm-hmm.
So Jones won't engage him there. He'll keep his distance. Jab, pour at him. Front kicks to keep distance. Throw a punch here and there. Very boring first round.
Mm-hmm.
Tom will give him the respect to not get caught. Second round, Tom will get a little braver. Take him down, pound him out. That's how I think it goes.
I mean, I don't disagree. But from what you said, it sounds like a TKO, right?
Yeah.
I think he full on he sleeps John. It's a KO in the second round.
I think I didn't say KO because I think John won't let it get to that point, or the ref will save him.
Okay, makes sense. I can see it.
Right, Jones, he doesn't want to get put to sleep.
Yeah.
His legacy.
Yeah, but overall, Tom beats John Jones. We're going to switch some gears a little bit. I know you wanted to talk about a recent comment that one of the Cowboys coaches made about George Pickens.
Oh, so let's jump into our Steelers segment here. So Brian Schottenheimer, the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's okay. I knew his name sounded so familiar. Okay.
Yeah. So the guy, and I'm gonna continue to say tweet. I don't know if this is a tweet or whatever.
I think from what you showed me, I think it's just like a statement. Like it's not like a tweet or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "quote I see a guy that's maturing. I see a guy that we're excited to put out there and watch him grow and get better." End quote.
And like how we said, he has to say that. He has to say that.
So there's a couple of things here, right? Number one, Brian has to say that because they just gave up 2 picks for this guy.
Yeah.
And they're kind of hoping that they're going to give Dak, who's consistently hurt forever and ever, some help to get the focus off CD, and which is kind of what we were hoping, right? We were hoping to be a 2-pronged attack with DK and George, and that obviously went to hell.
Yeah.
But Brian has to say that, right? We know that.
Yeah. Because you're not going to bash your own player.
Yeah. You're not. That would be a really bad taste. So George, on the other hand, we all have to expect that we are going to see the absolute best behavior from that guy for at least the next 2-3 months, at least till the end of training camp.
I would probably like a month into the season too. Yeah,
right. So that's a pretty good timeline to give this guy. I'd say 4 games into the season before he start. You know what? It would be good if we had. Can you pull up the Cowboys schedule real quick and let's see who their first 4 opponents are?
Yeah. Do you want me to put it up on the video, or do you want me to? Up here?
Look it up now.
Sure.
Just real quick. We don't have to bore these guys showing Cowboy stuff. Nobody wants to see it.
Yeah, sure. I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact they open up at the Eagles.
At the Eagles, right? So
I know for a fact that is their first game.
Right off the bat. What are they gonna?
They're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose that. And that's at the Eagles, I'm assuming.
Yeah. All right. So I have the first 4 games. So after the Eagles, they're home versus the Giants. Then they go to Chicago, and then they're home versus Green Bay. So that is their first.
So
4
2-2. I say 2-2.
Yeah.
I think they lose to the Eagles. I think they lose to the Packers.
Yeah.
I think they smack the Giants.
And then they beat the Bears.
I
don't think they'll be horrible. But here's what I want to say, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, oh, so are you going to say that he's not going to produce over there? I think he'll produce. Like, for example, I think he'll be a great wide receiver 2 behind CD. But he's still going to have that mentality where it's going to hurt the team at some point. Whether it's unnecessary roughness or offensive PI he's pushing off, it's only a matter of time before he does something that hurts them.
Yeah, because like I said in the first show, at the end of the day, George is George, and George only knows how to be George. Right?
You need a certain coach, or there's only a few coaches who could correct that behavior.
I'll tell you where I would have loved to have seen him go. And if he was still in the league, would have been with Belichick.
He would not act like he would be on his best behavior.
Belichick would have reined that dude in, and he would have been putting up Randy Moss type numbers.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be a distraction. If he got one 15-yard penalty for any reason, you would see that guy bench for 6 games. I'm exaggerating, but
that's how Bill runs his team.
You don't see these issues, or you didn't see these issues with Belichick run teams, because that guy didn't screw around, and here's the first bash of the day against Mike Tomlin. Everybody wants to play for that guy. Everybody loves that guy. Okay, nobody liked Bill Belichick. Everybody thought he was an asshole.
But they went to go over there because why?
You win championships with the guy.
You win championships.
You don't have to like your boss. You don't have to like your boss, folks. You just have to get along with him enough.
Exactly.
Brady did for 20 years and won a ton of championships with the guy.
6.
And it's not a secret that he didn't care for him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's how you manage it.
Do I think that George can be better? I don't know. I really don't know.
Better than,
like, how he acted in Pittsburgh. Like, can his behavior improve, or?
Well, it'll be a masquerade. I think. It's not. I think the guy. The real George is the George we had here for the last 3 years. To me, that's the real George.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see that. I don't believe you're going to see that guy for the next June, July, August, for the next 3.5 months.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that dude. You're going to see a model citizen. What's the other thing he said? I love his drive or something like that. He said his note taking is intense, and of course you're gonna be that guy. Of course you're gonna be that guy. But let's see what happens 4 games into the season when you're 2-2 and George isn't getting the ball as much as he thought he was going to. Let's see what happens.
I personally think that it's a disaster waiting to strike.
Yeah, and then I think I said this in the first show. I guess it's petty of me to say that I can't wait to see him watch him implode that locker room, because he's gonna do it. You know he's gonna do it.
The question is, how long into the season before he does it?
Yeah, and then to what lengths are they gonna go to conceal it?
And especially, I think he'll be more frustrated because that division is now stacked. I mean, apart from the Giants, you have the Eagles, Commanders, and now them. So it's like a 3-way race to see who can come out on top.
And it's so weird for me to still. How many years have there been the Commanders now? Like 3 years.
They've been the Commanders for, I think, 3 years. Because I know in 2020 they were the football team. So was it 2021 they were the Commanders? So what, like 4 seasons now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
I think you're right.
So 4.
They'll still be the Redskins to me.
Yeah.
I really can't get on board. I don't see how. The Guardians is the worst name ever. I don't see how the Cleveland Indians was offensive.
Well, I think it was more so the mascot than the name.
Wahoo McDaniel.
Yeah, there was like a giant red Indian.
Yeah, it was very cartoonish and very racist. That dude that they were able to use him as long as they did. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, so like that one, but because I know this whole George Pickens thing is like there's not a lot to talk about, and it was like a pretty short segment, but I did come across some college or a pretty significant college rule change that I think could happen in this year's playoff that I wanted to talk about to see what your take was.
Sure.
You know how they expanded to 12 teams, right? 12?
Long overdue.
Yeah, right.
Me and you have been saying this for years.
Yeah. And how it was last year was like the best conference champions got a bye, and then it was like the next couple teams and like the next couple teams. And for example, it was very confusing because it was like 18th ranked Clemson got a playoff spot because they won their conference. So now what I saw what they're going to do is now it's just going to go straight 1 through 12. It's no all right, you won this, so you get this, you did this, then you get this. It's just straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
More like the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which I do like because it was very confusing last year.
It was. I'm totally on board with that.
And then I think I saw that they're going to move to 16 in 2026.
16 teams?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first 4 would get a bye, and then I think it's 5, 16, 6, 15, like that.
Okay, I like that. I do. Those many years where we were like, listen,
the same 4 teams.
It's the same 4 teams, and you have 1 loss and you're done.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful. teams have off nights. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But that it completely implodes your entire season is silly.
Because now you can have, like 3 losses now, and it's still good enough to, like, sneak in there.
Yeah, even with 3 losses, 2 losses, even 2 losses, you were done.
Yeah, there was no chance of you getting in.
2 losses, you still have a good shot.
Yeah, like shot to get in.
Right, and even with 3 losses, it's now, it becomes more like the NFL thing, that in the hunt thing.
Yeah.
But you still have a shot. And in my head, I was watching a graphic of how we were the number 1 seed, and then in the hunt, when we went from the number 1 seed column over to the in the hunt column.
You're talking about the Steelers this past season, right?
Last season, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was when we were 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for that little time period, we were like the 1 seed, and then we just went into the hunt.
It's crazy.
The downfall needs to be studied there.
Yeah, it is. It's.
And then I saw there was a rule change that was proposed in the NFL. So, you know how the 4 people who win not your conference, your division, they get a home playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, the first wildcard team will have a better record than the 4 seed, but they'll still have to travel because they're a wildcard team.
Wow, they screwed the Vikings.
Yeah, I think it was the Lions or the Vikings. I'm not sure who, but proposed that it should just be based off of record now.
Yeah, it should.
I don't like that.
No, well,
just win your division.
Yeah, but you can't.
And then I feel like it takes away from, for example, like our 2 Ravens games, our 2 Bengals games, because then like it doesn't have much meaning.
Well, you see what the NFL purposely put our last game against the Ravens.
Yeah, because they're hoping that's probably for like a playoff spot, or maybe for like the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, 100%. So, and again, I'm not mad at them. They got to do what they got to do to draw in games, and that's with Goodell, that clown. If he could have a Tuesday and Wednesday night game, he 100% would. And
you would outlaw Thursday night games, right?
I hate the Thursday night game. Not only for us, I hate it when we play it. I hate it when anyone else plays it. The NFL Players Union should mutiny. I mean, this is. It's almost like fighting an MMA match every week. That's insane.
Yeah.
And to ask these guys to play on a Thursday night on on 3 days rest, it's just wrong.
It's wrong. And another rule change was that they're keeping the tush push, which I have very mixed feelings on. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure how to feel about it, but how do you feel about that?
So listen, I like to play? I don't. I hate it. But play better. I don't know what to tell you. So what are we going to do? Every time that somebody's successful at something, we're going to ban that thing?
That's true.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. See, like, I get your point on that, but then it's one of those, like, you can't play better because it's just that good. Like, you can't stop it. It's a nice
toy to have in your back pocket, I'll tell you that much.
I think I saw that the Eagles coach said that we do it so well that every drive it's basically like a 1st and 9 for us, or like a 1st and 8, because if they get like a yard or 2 like close, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, and so what does that do, right? That opens up your playbook so that on 3rd down you can literally do anything, and the defense is gonna be on their heels because they're like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, because if it's like 3rd and 4, you could just be like, all right,
stack the box.
We could get 3 yards, and we know that we're gonna get it like on 4th.
Yeah, and then as a defense, all right, they got to go 4 yards. We can kind of line up our defense based on what we think they're going to do because they need to get 4 yards on this. Mm-hmm. And so there's certain defensive sets and looks that we can give them, as opposed to it's 3rd and 1.
Yeah. It makes
Are they going to sneak it? Are they going to hand it off?
Yeah.
Is it an RPO?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's a game changer. It really is. So then
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm not just like in baseball when with the shift.
To me, that still bothers me to this day that you can't do the shift anymore.
It bothers the hell out of me too.
That one really bothers me that you can't do it anymore.
It's so dumb. So you know what? We figured out a way to give ourselves an advantage against whatever. Oh yeah, you can't.
You're gonna ban it.
What?
It makes no sense. And well, so now I want to get into, because the George Pickens topic was like pretty short. I want to get into the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, this whole drama that's going on in the WNBA. And I think you have it, right?
Yeah. So let me preference this segment by saying that I wouldn't even know who Caitlin Clark is. She would have not entered my arena for any reason if it hadn't been for you. Like, we both love college basketball, and I used to watch the girls a lot more. I stopped maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. I haven't watched the girls so much, but I just love the NCAA tournament. I love March Madness. I used to watch the men's and the women's. Haven't watched the women's so much in a while now.
Yeah, I don't really watch the girls basketball, but everybody was talking about Caitlin Clark, and how she's this amazing player. And then I was seeing highlights of her, and then I watched like a couple of her games. I was like, this girl plays like a guy. Like, she's like amazing.
Yeah. So and again, I purposely, I used to be a big WFAN fan here, which is sports radio, right? I used to listen to that all the time, whatever. And then I found myself arguing with the radio a lot. And I'd be like, what? What do you know?
What? Like, no, right?
And then I was like, you know what? Why am I arguing with the radio? So I stopped listening to sports radio. I don't really read sports news. Anything that really happens in the sports world is because you tell me it. So when you told me about this chick, you're like, you got to check out this chick, Caitlin Clark, whatever. I was like, again, she was not in my universe whatsoever. What happens? You start showing me clips of her, and I'm like, wow.
She can ball, right?
This chick is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And at the risk of sounding sexist, I know there's probably not a whole lot of women listening to us right now, but, we'll change that. Maybe we'll do cooking segments and stuff at some point. That was really messed up.
Crazy.
I apologize. No, but I don't know. We'll do something to engage the women. They're a very important part of our audience, maybe. So you show me this Caitlin Clark, and then I start looking at videos of her on my own, and I'm like, wow, this chick can ball. And then I told you she has a basketball IQ that is unparalleled, that I've never seen a woman have. She was very reminiscent of Larry Bird to me. Her court awareness, her passing, I was stunned watching her play. I was like, this chick is the real deal.
Yeah, like, she's my favorite player. Well, because I think I really only can tell you maybe, like, off the top of my head, maybe, like, 8 WNBA players. But she's my favorite just because, like, I saw her at Iowa for 2 years, and she's really good under Fever, so...
And the only ones I can tell you are all the ones that I saw that played on Connecticut teams who transitioned to the WNBA. And so here, let's get some clicks, some hate maybe. Listen, guys, you're not going to get paid what the men get paid no matter how much you bitch and moan. Just not, right? Because how do you get money?
Views.
You put asses in the seats.
Which the Fever are doing.
No. Which Caitlin Clark is doing.
Yeah.
Right? So, and again, so that actually is a great segue because it brings us into this whole thing that went down. Ben will put up the video of the foul.
Yeah, I'll show it right here.
Now, when I heard about this, I was like, okay, first of all, it doesn't sound like Caitlin Clark. Flagrant
Yeah, right.
It does not sound like her at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I go and I watch the video and I'm like, okay, number one, it wasn't flagrant. It was a basketball foul to prevent you from getting an easy 2 points.
I would do the same thing too. Like
I played tons of backyard, schoolyard basketball game. Did it all the time. I'm not giving you a freebie. You'll get the ball back at the top of the key and you can try again, but you're not getting a freebie.
yeah. So even though I just showed the clip for those who want some context, it started with I forgot who, but someone took a shot, and Angel Reese like went for the rebound, but like pushed down a Fever player, and Caitlin Clark was very upset that there was no call made. So when Reese got the rebound, as she was going up, that's when she did the hard take foul. And then it was a pretty bad flop from what you just saw. And that is what led to the whole her going after Caitlin Clark and the whole Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark thing sparking up again.
Exactly, again. And you know what? And I don't know which she's worse at, acting or playing basketball. It makes me. I'm gonna find out who said it because I keep bringing this up and I don't know who said it. Somebody said that watching Angel Reese play basketball is like watching a baby giraffe.
No, wait. Oh, well, yeah, that too. And then I think I showed you like a video that it was like, oh, she plays basketball like a blind person. Like, I forgot what the clip was. The AI Caitlin Clark video that I showed you, but yeah,
that was hilarious. Oh my god. Listen, that AI is going to be the end of all of us. It's scary how good
and
that AI stuff is.
For you Angel Reese fans, I mean, look, it's not wrong to get behind your player because I myself am like a Caitlin Clark fan, but you have to realize that she hates Caitlin Clark. There is a jealousy to it, and you just can't deny it.
Yeah, for anyone with eyes. It's so clear, dude. Listen, you can... And you know what? Here's the thing, too. Caitlyn has such class. She will never play into it or admit it or anything. She doesn't have to. It's clear. It's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese does not like her.
Yeah.
All right? For numerous reasons, number one on the list is because she's a much, much more talented player than she ever will be.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what RG3 said. He said, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He just said the quiet part out loud, that's all. I mean, it's something we've all known for quite a while now.
And what he said with that last part, and I even said it to you like a couple of days ago, it would be a rivalry if Angel Reese was somewhat good at basketball. Like, it's not really like a rivalry.
Please don't light up our comments. Listen, again.
Gonna have like the Angel Reese fans like, oh, how dare you? Like,
we said this from the very first episode. We're going to have some serious takes on stuff that you guys are not going to like. But none of it is not true. Will there be certain biases? Not a whole lot. Because I got to tell you, no one is harder on my teams than me.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, we don't hate Angel Reese. Like, we don't think she's an awful person. We just... We've seen her actions with Caitlin Clark... And we know that there's more or less a right side to this whole thing.
Listen, Caitlin Clark, I don't know her from a hole in the wall. She's not a very talented basketball player. She's a fantastic rebounder.
You mean Angel Reese?
Oh, yeah, Angel Reese.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic rebounder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw somewhere someone put up a stat, which I would love to know if it's true, that most of her rebounds are on her own misses.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
That's comical.
It's definitely true.
It's comical. And then, how, you guys, I think she gets a lot of grief too because she's a white girl in a very dominant black league.
Yeah.
And so
I guarantee if she wasn't black or if she wasn't white, there wouldn't be this much like uproar about it.
she would be the second coming.
Yeah.
If she was black. I 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
It's just because she's white.
If Caitlin Clark was black, she would not only not be going through any of this nonsense, she would be celebrated like the second coming.
And I personally think that, I mean, it's just amazing to see the jealousy the whole league has for her.
Cheryl Swoops got herself into an awful lot of trouble by just for the sheer fact that she's jealous of the girl.
Because what I don't understand is that you have so many great things that you've wanted for such a long time for your league, and it's happening now. You know, you finally have private jets. You're finally playing in almost packed arenas. Why are you so upset when this is what you wanted? Is it because it's because of Caitlin Clark? And I've said this joke, but it's not a joke. And I've said it to you that unfortunately only women act like that.
Yeah. Again, here come the comments. Yeah, but it's true, right? I think being very honest with ourselves, women are just catty like that. They just are. Like, you know, it's not a stereotype. It's just the way it is. And no one was more catty than Cheryl Swoops, who I liked. I happened to like her a lot until I saw the nonsense she was talking about Caitlin Clark.
Well, I had no idea who she was until like you told me.
Yeah, and it was just like, wow, where is this coming from? But you know, at any rate, one of my favorite all-time defenders in Ryan Clark said something very silly in regards to this whole thing. He got into it with RG3.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the entire thing. Ben will put it up here for you guys if you haven't seen it, so you guys can take a quick look at it if you want. But he said, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what Angel Reese is dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages you've been married to white women. What?
That's like so weird to bring up. That's so weird to bring up.
That is a wild take.
It is.
And has absolutely nothing to do with basketball. If RG3 likes short, purple Asian women, that's his thing.
Yeah, right?
Well, that has absolutely nothing to do with the conversation of basketball. So, and then here's another thing that it's kind of long, but again, just I'm gonna read the end part of this whole rant. So when he was talking about black men, right, and specifically in reference to white women, how it seems that mostly athletes seem to be involved or in relationships with white women. He said they always feel, this is black men, they always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman they're married to, or the woman that they're or the woman that they're with over black women by denigrating black women. Listen, did it ever occur to you guys
Crazy.
that maybe black men aren't keen on dating black women because of the way they act? Could that maybe be a thing? I don't know.
It's not something crazy to say. Like it's not like blasphemous to even come out and say. You know.
It's not. You know. And listen, I've seen, and I've heard, and I've read where people are calling for Ryan's job. That's crazy too. I mean, listen. You know, where are we when you can't make an opinion, where you can't voice an opinion, even as malformed as this thought was? It's his opinion. It's his opinion. It's a wild take on a non-issue.
Yeah.
It's a wild take on a non-issue to start dragging race into it and his wife, and it's craziness. But the guy should definitely not lose his job over it. I don't think he should lose his job over it. That's silly.
No, because then you're basically saying more or less that he doesn't have free speech, I guess.
Yeah, and what's that quote? I wish I could remember. You can. I think I remember. I may not agree with what you say, but I will fight to the death your right to say it.
So
because you know what happens if I don't fight for your right to say whatever nonsense you want to say, then at some point I'm not going to have that right either. And someone needs to fight for me in that case.
I 100% agree. So what I wanted to end the show with was we got a couple comments on our first episode, and I wanted to address them. So one is basically about the video, and I plan on dividing it into sections, so if people want to skip to like a certain part that they want to hear about, they can do that. But then there's this one comment, it says, and it's going back to last episode, it says, "You said only GSP can beat people at their own game. What is your thoughts about Mighty Mouse?" And I'm pretty sure we both agree on how we feel about Mighty Mouse.
I think Dana, and I have so many issues with Dana. You guys will get to hear me rant on about that guy in future episodes. He did Mighty Mouse dirty. Mighty Mouse, if it wasn't for GSP,
Mighty Mouse would be the GOAT. To
Mighty
us,
Mouse
to
would be
us.
the GOAT.
To us, yeah.
100%. That guy, and that's why I saw a lot of his career over in one.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is. He is a bundle of dynamite. The guy he's the most fantastic fighter. He really is. And screw Dana White for not promoting this guy and thinking that he was boring, whatever. I don't really care about his opinion.
100% to us. If GSP did not exist, at least to us, Mighty Mouse would be the GOAT.
Yeah, it's not even debatable. I would love to debate people on it, but it's not debatable. The guy's body of work and what he's done is just incredible.
Oh, he was a flyweight. He faced no competition. You have people like that, but
always you'll always have that.
Yeah.
And again, I will listen to we will listen to any argument, right? I'm not one of those guys that get out of here, you're crazy. No. Convince me. You have a viewpoint. Convince me.
The lowest I will accept is like 5. But yeah.
And then we'll at some point we'll get into Pride, which was the wild west of MMA.
Yeah.
God, I love Pride.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's all the time we have now. Do you want to hit us with like an outro, and then I'll go like after you?
So I want to remind you guys now, that, like I said at the beginning of the show, we're working through some technical stuff, whatever, being this is the first time I'm doing this. We're on training wheels right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully we want to get moving and get those off.
Definitely in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As we progress and we get more and more shows under our belt, obviously we make the content for you. If there's stuff you want us to talk about, please put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Right? Like, subscribe. I have to keep saying those things.
Make sure to turn on post notifications to stay tuned when we do upload. The goal is to upload, as of right now, twice a week, but we'll see. But that is the plan for right now. But
you have something on your mind you want us to talk about, you want to hear our takes on? Put it in the comments.
Yeah, but we'll see you guys next time then.
All right, guys. Safe journeys.